Welcome to our inaugural video of this channel, and we're going to begin with the issue of Nigeria-China relations. First and foremost, I think we're going to begin with the most pressing, the most burning issue at the moment. I think it's just the relations between their peoples, But before now, generally, I think the news we got, or the sort of things we had from China as it concerns how black people are treated, wasn't that bad as such. It was pretty much positive, and I'm sure it might still be pretty much positive. So, but of course, we heard of the cases of discrimination, of people being evicted from their homes by the Chinese, especially during this pandemic. This pandemic lockdown has brought it all to a head, and it seems the Nigerians and blacks tend to be easy targets, easy prey to blame and all that stuff, or to take advantage of. So, but to begin with, I think the much when I say, Nigerians themselves, have to show a lot more regard for themselves, and I think that does happen in Nigeria. I think people tend to do that, but at the same time as well, it's not always the case. You have cases where people, Nigerians, throw each other to the death in the presence of foreigners. Treat fellow Nigerians with disregard. So when the Chinese see distance, they will take advantage of that. They will take, they will see that as this is how it's done, and have to continue with that. So we have also heard of cases where in Nigeria, the discrimination, it's in Nigeria as well. That is quite staggering. We heard of cases where people. There was a particular case where a Nigerian lady was denied entry into a Chinese restaurant because the Chinese patrons that come to that restaurant, clearly demanded that if Nigerians come, they wouldn't come themselves. So the Chinese owners prefer to dance to the tune of the Chinese patrons. Probably they have more money or something like that. So as it concerns that, I think the government itself has to have the posture of positive regard towards its people. It has to change a lot of things. It has to enhance a lot of things, and we're not talking about giving people stipends and giving them all the money they need. Basic things like improving infrastructure, things like that. When you do that, it is a clear statement that I have regard for my people. I listen to them. And they have to stop selling them short. Because I am aware that some of this Chinese folk, because we're talking about Chinese folk right now. We're not talking about any other ethnicity in Nigeria. They when they come to the government officials, they can simply get anything they want, and they can simply say, "Look, I want this man put in prison because he didn't greet me." That can happen. I'm not saying literally that's what happens, but that's the sort of thing that happens. So, and the Chinese know that. I know that myself. I've seen that happen in Nigeria. So they will always take advantage of that. You can't blame them. They have to get what they want. If you were the one, you will do the same thing as well. So discrimination and disregard on the part of Nigerians and the Chinese as well towards Nigerians, and the vice versa, is not welcome. It's not good. It's wrong. It shouldn't be done. And then we've talked about relations between their peoples, and on the other hand, we have trade. trade between Nigeria and China is not a small piece of issue. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and there's obviously an imbalance. You know, Nigeria probably imports more from China, and so there are ways to go around some of this. This is not a bad thing as such, you know, because that particular trade provides jobs for people, and without that trade, things wouldn't be the same the way they are. I wouldn't say that there wouldn't be on jobs, but you know, they have created jobs, and they are jobs supported by the China-Nigeria trade, you know, and with that, the size of it, you can imagine that yes, there are jobs that have been supported and created as such. And then you have the investments and contracts and the clauses of these contracts, you know. So it's not the end of the world when people, when some of these contracts are awarded to the Chinese, and the clauses in them are such that if all that stuff, you know. But at the same time as well, just like the fourth article in our discussion here is loans. And so when some of these things are put in place, and the Chinese probably come to, or rather seek to activate the clauses in those contracts, in those loans, these loans that are not grants, you know, meaning that you have to be paid back, and then the clauses might mean that they're going to take over certain resources, certain assets, and all stuff. So you know, there are ways to go around them. You know, first and foremost, in the case of trade, when you have such an imbalance, you know, you can use developed markets to monetize these transactions. You know, it even creates yet more opportunity, yet more assets to, you know, to diversify the whole economic scheme around this, the trade and the contracts and the loans. You know, so the second one the second instrument you can use is legislation. You know, use legislation to ensure that if these assets have been taken over, this is how it's going to be done. This is how you follow it. And you know, they can't. You know, the clause from a particular contract cannot override the sovereignty of a particular country. If the country has, or the government in place that establish that contract or sign that contract failed, then the legislature shouldn't just you know, sit down there and cry and you know. This is what is in their hands. They use it, you know, some of these assets in the country, and it is in the domain. This is where they will have to, you know, come up with legislation to make sure that in as much as it has been taken over, it should be treated as that of Nigeria or that of that country. You know, there's nothing to fear about that in this case. It's not. I don't think it's a very very big deal like. There was a particular African American panel that talked about these things. It's not probably, you know, they didn't think about the fact that it's not the end of the world. You know, they can still be under the control of the country. You know, the legislation, like I mentioned now, can be used to, you know, control some of this, you know, takeovers, and ensure that you have since they have been taken over, they have to be sold to the public. You know. So, or, you know, there are a lot of things, you know, in Nigeria, for instance, the content character and all that stuff that are in place, you know, they can be used to ensure that it even in the long run benefits Nigerians, you know. So, the other one is sensitization, and yes, you know, sensitize the people that this is who you are, and this is who these people are, and all that stuff, you know, and then continue to do that, you know, regularly. Let people be sensitized and be informed, and then their confidence will grow. And you know, when they are confident, then they are less likely to be discriminated. They're less likely to be disregarded and all that stuff. So the other one is immigration control. Yes, the borders have to be controlled. They have to continue to check the immigration status of this folk, and sensitize Nigerians to aid you in the immigration control. If they suspect somebody who is a Chinese person who is in their country, they feel they doesn't have the right papers to be there, they will inform them, and they have to. The immigration unit has to ensure that it does the job as well. You know, so there are ways to go around these things. You know, it is Nigeria, it is Africa. You know, and they I know also that the people are citing, or rather indicating that the ultimate aim is complete domination of Africa and changing the psyche and the philosophy, and of Africans. At the same time, too, everything is within the hands of these countries, especially Nigeria, to go against these things, counter them, and control them, and challenge them. They will have to come. They will have to come to Nigeria. They have to come to Africa to seek resources, to seek trade. But the checks and the balances are within the hands and controls of Nigerians and Africans. So it's not the end of the world. It's not that bad. If the trade trade balance is there, like I've said, you can use tools available to your local financial markets and the developed markets elsewhere in the world to, monetize them and even diversify the asset base of the country. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.